BoMill allows accurate sorting of grains in large quantities, based on individual kernels' internal properties. Traditional sorting methods are not accurate enough to be able to save as much grain from disposal. By assessing each individual kernel's inner properties, BoMill's solution allows an accurate segregation of grain batches to remove only the infected kernels. The company is listed on First North. And in this interview, we will talk to Andreas Jeppsson, the CEO, Fredrik Nilsson, CTO, and Denis Boissau, marketing manager, and Zhanna Zhehet, area sales manager.
Andreas, can you please tell us about your background?
I joined BoMill in September last year. Previous BoMill, I was working in international business for a little bit more than 20 years. I have lived 3 years in China, I have lived 4 years in the US. My passion is very much about understanding the customer needs and the market needs. That's where I'm coming from.
Can you explain BoMill's business model?
First, I would like to start with saying that grain is the second most traded commodity in the world, just after oil. And also the fact that 37% of arable landmass today is already in use. And with that in mind, and the fact that we by 2050 will be 10 billion people on Earth, that means that we will be much more efficient in how we are using our grains and how we are using our land. What BoMill is doing, we are sorting grains with high precision. With that said, we are actually sorting every kernel based upon its inner properties. We are actually looking through each and every kernel, and with our current technology, we're actually doing that with 25,000 kernels every second, looking through every kernel. That we can also today, with current technology, you can also see through kernels and you can see the same thing, but that you do in a lab scale. We are doing it in an industrial scale. That is a big difference, and we do it continuously.
Can you please tell us a bit more about BoMill as a company?
Yes. We are generating value from the farmer to the grain handler, to the food producer, all the way to the end consumer product by delivering, making sure that the quality of the grain supplied in the whole value chain is of a certain quality.
Can you explain the organizational structure of BoMill?
Yes, we have our own sales organization with a sales force that is based here at our headquarters in Malmö. We also have a sales office newly opened beginning of the year in Nuremberg in Germany since February. So we have a sales office there as well. We have marketing function here. We have R&D as well.
And you mentioned that you opened an office in Germany.
Yes.
Is it a particular reason why you ended up in Germany?
When I joined BoMill, we actually updated or made a business plan. And in that business plan, we come to the conclusion that we will focus on the malting and brewery industry. And malting and brewery industry is very influential in Germany, especially in Europe. And so we have employed, since February, we have employed a person that has a great experience from both the malting and the brewery industry that is helping us.
Looking at the competitors, what would you say is the main difference between your product and your competitors' products?
The technology that is on the market today, and has been for quite some time, is what they call the optical sorters. They are looking at the outside of the kernels, and they are looking at different sizes. It could be different colors, different shapes. What we are doing at BoMill, we are looking at the inside of each kernel. That is what actually comes back to the main difference between us and the competition.
If you look at the external part of the grain,
yes,
compared to the internal part, what are you missing if you're looking just at the external part?
We are able to look at, for example, toxins, toxic kernels that could be of great harm, and it will create the food safety or affect the food safety. So you can actually create toxic food by having toxic kernels. And we are able, at an early stage, to remove those kernels from the grain or batch. That is the big difference. But also we are able to look at other properties, such as sorting on protein level, protein content, and creating homogeneous batches of material. And the more homogeneous batches of grain you have, the better it is when you actually are making your food. So the food producers are always striving for having a homogeneous quality of the raw material we are using.
Why is the sorting process of high importance when it comes to grains?
In agricultural and food industry, smart solutions are needed, not only to meet economic demands, but also global sustainability goals. Just last month, we were invited to the business event to reach out Italian agricultural industry, where we had to talk how we can help in the food process, plant technology transformation into digital and sustainable solution. And once again, it has proven something that we actually knew before. We have a lot for the grain processing industries to benefit when it comes to technological, financial, and sustainable solutions.
Looking back on the last 9 months, is there something you would like to highlight in BoMill's business?
The fact that we, since end of the last year, have a new business plan in place, making sure and describing what we are doing, what segments we shall approach. And I think in a company like ours, even more importantly, saying what we shall not do. Making sure that we have a certain focus in our business, in how we are developing new products, in how we are working with advertisements, marketing in general, but also in our sales, most important. Making sure that we are focusing in one key segment and are sticking to that. That's very important. And based upon the business plan, we have also looked over our organization. So we have quite a few new competences on board. We have a new salesperson based in Germany. We have a marketing manager working with all the different kind of marketing aspects, including collaborating and supporting our distributors. We have a new CFO that has a great experience from this type of companies and this type of industry. And we have since June also a new CTO in place, working with R&D, especially R&D related questions.
If we look at the approachable market, how large would you say that it is for BoMill?
If you compare it to the optical sorters that is available in the market today for sorting grains, they are approximately of a size of $2 billion every year. That is the approximate value of that market. And the potential is huge here, because remember that, as I said before, grain is the second largest commodity in the world after oil. And we can also see that there is a need with all the climate changes that we see, for example, and also the fact that we have more increasing demands or changes in the regulations when it comes to toxic levels in grains. That is also affecting. So there is definitely a need for the grain industry to work in sorting out sorting the grains in a more efficient way compared to before and what is currently available in the market.
Would you say that let's say the demand from the distributors, etc., and the larger companies have increased due to the fact that people these days are more aware of the importance of eating healthy food in terms of its like ecological, etc.?
Definitely so. And this is also coming back to that the food producers all over the world, which I have worked with for the last 20 years basically, there is a demand for increasing the raw materials they take into the production. They have an increased demand on it. And the better raw material, the higher quality you have on it, the better products you are able to produce. And that does come back to the trend you have with the clean label products, where you would like to have as few additives as possible and as few ingredients as possible.
If we look at the technology of your sorting machine, how is that technology protected?
We have, since the foundation of BoMill, we have a very active patent strategy. So I would say that we are very well covered globally when it comes to our patents. So I feel very comfortable about that.
BoMill has appointed a new CTO and a new global marketing managers. What will be their main focus going further?
For our CTO, with his 18 years of experience from developing equipment for food production, we are getting a resource that has a lot of understanding for the market demands from the industry. And I feel that we will also get a certain structure, so we will have a good balance between the entrepreneurship that we have in the company in combination with the structure that you get from a larger corporation or larger company. So that's a good balance that we will find with having a new CTO on board. For the marketing manager, we have a person that has a strong background from the grain industry in France that has worked with marketing-related questions there. That will also give a lot of expertise and knowledge in that specific field.
I know R&D is an important part of BoMill. Can you elaborate a bit on what's going on in the R&D department?
Yes, sure. We have a major ongoing R&D project to develop a high-capacity sorting equipment. With this product, we will reach a sorting capacity of 15 tons per hour. By that, we will reach the highest level of industry standard and also meet the market need. The capacity will be scalable and will start at 2 tons an hour. Current status of the project is that we have just finalized the initial testing with very promising result that confirms the principles behind the equipment. And now we will focus on more in-depth testing, more detailed testing to confirm the results. We will also start working on a detailed plan for the commercialization. And the goal is to launch this product or equipment in second quarter in 2022.
Are there any other ongoing R&D projects with BoMill?
Yes, on the existing platform called TriQ, we are doing product maintenance and updates, and that is based on the experience we have got from the installed base and feedback from the customers. We also have a development project with an American customer. It's a very exciting project that we are doing together, and we are following the plan there, and the result so far is very promising. We also have a collaboration agreement with a company outside here called Lilla Harriet Valskvarn. It's a company in the Pågen Group in Sweden.
In the end of June, BoMill announced that it has become a member of German Association of Brewery and Malting. Can you please explain what this means for the company?
Yeah. So following the business strategy and in particular the malting and brewing focus, we actually approached many different companies and organizations, including VLB, who actually shown some strong interest in our technology in relation to product quality improvements, securing food safety, or even process optimization. So we approached VLB and became member. VLB, just to summarize, it's Europe's oldest, one of Europe's oldest association in the brewing industry, but it's also a world-renowned technical institute. So being member of such an association gives us the opportunity to, first of all, further assess the benefits of our technology for that segment, but also follow the trends in that segment. And it's also a good opportunity for us to have interaction with key players of the industry and also collaboration with some of those key players.
What will be your main focus the coming quarters, say up to a year?
Continue our efforts working on the sales activities, attracting new customers, going out there, meeting customers again after this pandemic situation that has hurdled us a bit during the last 9 months, or even longer than that. We will also work much more on marketing and promotional activities, getting out on summits, exhibitions, etc. It's also something that we are working more on. We have quite a lot of things happening on the R&D side, where the most important is that we are working on our high-capacity machine that we have recently announced that we are getting through or getting further on when it comes to testing and verifying some of the basic principles on that machine. So that's very, very promising. We are working on a commercial plan, launching it in the second quarter of next year, 2022. But all in all, we have a fantastic opportunity to make a difference for many companies out there, helping them to reach their sustainability goals from an environmental standpoint. That is where we can make a huge difference in the grain industry and overall, actually. So it's not a matter, as I see it, and as we see it here in BoMill, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we will get the big breakthrough.